All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to German habits I still do in the United States since leaving Germany. I'm sorry, guys. Let's jump in.
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about things that I still do in the USA since leaving Germany. And I'm going to be making the counterpart to this video coming up, so stay tuned for that. But basically, I'm going to be talking about some German habits that I picked up while living in Germany that I still do in the USA. I feel like this changes frequently, but since I've been back in America for over a year now, crazy for me to say that out loud, I realized that some things have stuck a little bit, like, how do you say, fester than others. And so with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and let me know down below in the comment section which one of these points is interesting for you or to you. So the first point that I'm going to be talking about might be a little too vulgar or explicit for some people, and you're more than welcome to fast forward to the next point. But I find this to be hilarious because since leaving Germany, I still wash my ass. And you guys are probably wondering, what the hell are you talking about, Haley? And I think I've talked about this a few times on my channel, but this is something that I feel like will never get old. If I, like, for as long as I make YouTube videos, this is something that I always bring up. And I had a conversation the other day with someone, and I was talking about washing your ass. And I said, well, how do you do it since you don't have a removable shower head? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, like, do you bend down? Do you bend over? Do you do this position? Do you, like, spread things? And they were like, I just let the water, like, fall over my body. And I was like, is that clean? Is that hygienic? In Germany, I think like 90% of the bathrooms that I've ever been in that have showers, they have removable shower heads. In the US, most of the bathrooms that we have do not have removable shower heads. Apartment that we're in right now, both bathrooms do not have removable shower heads. We're also not allowed to alter them, so they are what they are. But best believe I have my methods and I have my ways to clean myself here. And it's just being able to get the areas in your body that you wouldn't be able to touch, or not even touch, that you wouldn't be able to reach from this one little thing coming out of the wall. And this is probably how the people feel that have bidets and use bidets. When people are like, no, I don't use a bidet, and they're like, ugh, what are you talking about? And me, I'm like, do you wash your butthole? And so maybe that's how people feel with bidets, but nonetheless, still do that here, even after all this time of not being in Germany. The next thing
I'm confused. So that means that she before went to Germany never washed her budugu? Well, what I'm thinking about, maybe when you do number 2, then you're like, okay, because I did number 2, I think it's fair to just clean it up and not take a bath. So let's say you take number 2s a day. So you, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. I don't know.
that I do, which I was cracking up because Mike was making fun of me because I hate doing this. Hated doing this in Germany. I still hate it in the USA, but I do it. And it's squeegeeing the glass of the bathroom. So in my bathroom, the shower has a big old glass door, a big old glass area. And in order to keep it streak free, I use my little squeegee. I even have my squeegee in the shower with me so I can squeegee it. And this is just a habit that I picked up from living in Germany.
And you know what's crazy? I started doing that as well. Because I was watching some guy. And all of a sudden he started mentioning using the squeegee when you take a shower. So after you take a shower, you basically clean it up. And I said, really, man, that sounds good. That's a good habit to build. And of course that built character because you started organizing. Man, I started doing that. Thanks to the Germans. I bought my squeegee and I started just drying my water from the glass. That's crazy, man.
Germany, because you want to get rid of, I think it's like lime and kalk or limestone. You don't want stuff to get all cloudy and foggy and have streaks.
Yeah, that, Yep, you want to avoid that.
On it because the water is very harsh, it's very hard, has a lot of minerals compared to us in the USA, what we're used to. And so if you let it sit on stuff too long, I've seen it like form actual crust
Yep.
on things, but people do it because they don't want stuff to look dirty. I personally just believe that I will never get over this point. It's something that has become ingrained in me so deeply because I would get yelled at by everybody that I lived with in Germany. My host family, they'd be like, Haley, do not forget to squeegee the glass. And I would hate doing it. Then when Mike and I lived together, he'd be like, Haley, squeegee the glass. And then other people, they'd be like, squeegee the glass. And I'd be like, I don't want to squeegee the glass. It frustrated me so much that now, after all of that like nick nagging that people did, I now do it in the USA. I know that people do squeegee in the USA. I've seen it before, but the majority of people I know that have showers like mine do not squeegee. The next point to sort of piggyback off of this has to deal with wiping down the metal. And this is another habit that I haven't been able to shake, and it's just repetition and automatic because I did it so many times in Germany. But it's because the same reason the water is so harsh in Germany compared to the USA that you will have to wipe down the metal to not get it to streak, to not have little water spots on it or little limestone spots on it. So you usually wipe the metal down when you're done showering. Some people, not everyone. And so now a lot of times when I'm done showering, I will wipe off the shower head because that's a metal piece, and I will wipe off the...
See, I didn't know this. This is a good one. That's what I'm gonna start doing that as well. The squeegee, I got it down. It looks amazing. It looks great. The metal is another one because I do believe these things do develop character and discipline. And us as humans, we always have this chaos in our mind, but these small traits, small exercises allow the mind to organize.
The handle of the shower, even though it's not really necessary. Mike's mom, she came to visit actually, which is pretty funny. And she brought her own little towel to wipe down the metal in the bathroom. And I was like, this is so funny. And I was like, I have to talk about this. So here we are. I technically do it still in my bathroom. Mike does not do it in his bathroom. And so we're gonna have to talk about that, Mike. If you're watching this video, you need to clean your metal. The next thing that I have to do in the USA since leaving Germany is an interesting thing for me to talk about because it has to deal with the medical field, and it's that I still have to wait for a doctor's appointment. And this really doesn't fit in this video, but I wanted to include it because a lot of people I've realized in the comment section have a misconception of doctor's appointments and the medical system in the USA. And it's so interesting for me because I'm studying in the medical field right now. I'm working in the medical field right now. I'm practicing in the medical field right now. And people that have never lived in the USA, have never studied medicine in any capacity, have never worked in USA healthcare, have so many opinions about something they do not know. And it's people thinking that if you come to the USA and if you pay privately or out of pocket, that you won't have to wait for a doctor's appointment. And you still have to do that here. I could take all the money in the world that I have, which is not much, but I could take all of my money.
Well, if you go to urgent care, they take you right away. They don't even need an appointment. They take you right away. Or you have to pay. Some of them, they have, you can pay with your Medicare or Medicaid or private insurance. Not all of them. But if you need like an urgent care, they'll take you right away. You don't have to wait
to a doctor and say that I want an appointment, I am paying you out of pocket. And if they are busy, they're going to look at you or me and they're going to say, okay, I have something available in November. It's July right now, but the only availability I have is in November. I think it's very interesting that a lot of people, they say in Germany, you have to wait forever for a doctor's appointment. That wasn't the case for me. Usually dependent on how specialized your care is, you probably are going to have to wait longer than other specialties, but that is the same in the USA. And so since leaving Germany, I'm having to do that in the USA as well. So it's become like a habit that I'm so used to that if someone says, oh, you have to wait 2 months for this, oh, you have to wait 1 week for this, I'm used to it in the USA because it's something that I did in Germany
Either
as
way, yeah.
well. And even if I have money, I'm still not able to wiggle my way into an appointment. That's just something that I wanted to include because it's been bothering me that how many people have been saying the same thing. And I'm like, did someone post my video in like a forum, or is someone paying a bot to to post the same comment? Because it cannot be that so many misinformed people are coming up under my videos.
Well, it all depends on people's experience, right? So maybe some of these people, they have a different experience. It's all perspective, guys, at the end of the day. It's all perspective. At this point, you have to get these experiences and just come up with your own conclusions, kind of a thing.
Saying the same schmarrn and the same bullshit over and over again. So moving on to the next point. Do not call me on my days off. And this is something that had to be implemented at work, y'all, because you get that nice little ring, ring, ring. What are you doing when you're not scheduled for the day? And you have to say, honey, no, it's not happening. And it got to a point where people would know not even to text me and not even to call me. If I'm not scheduled to work and I prior have said that I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to do it. And so for me, this was instilled in the beginning of my work journey in Germany. This started when I was an au pair. They were so adamant about me taking time off, not working on my days off, unless, I wanted to and I was around these people. This was instilled in me in the beginning when I was a nanny, when I worked in kindergartens, all of these things. It was told to me over and over again, we're not going to call you, we're not going to bother you on your day off. And 9 times out of 10, they would not. And I just became so accustomed to this, so used to this, that now when someone does it in the USA, I sort of feel insulted, even though I know it's so normal here that it's not insulting for people. But I am so taken aback that people would have the audacity to call me on my day off, to even question if I want to go to work.
That's crazy.
If I wanted to go to work, I would go on the schedule and schedule myself. I would reach out to you and ask you if you needed me to work. I don't need you calling me, begging me, saying that we're a family and we need to stick together. Screw you guys.
If you're having a job and they tell you we are a family, that's a red flag. Red flag, guys. That's a way of manipulating you. It make you feel guilty. So, no.
I've worked, I am working, and y'all don't need any more of my time. You have enough of my time already. I know at some point it's going to change. I know that the work system here in the USA is going to break me down, but for the time being, in the past year of my life, it's been just like this. So the last and final thing that I still do in the USA since leaving Germany has to deal with going to the grocery store. The lady at our Publix told us that we are the people she sees the most, even though recently we've been switching over to Aldi because they are a little cheaper for certain items. And
hey, man, with $200 in Aldi, bro, you're making your cart go all the way to the top. I love Aldi. I mean, some of the product is not, but man, F that. I'm going Aldi all day, guys. I'm telling you. With Aldi, if you make a $800 to $1,000 in grocery a month, your fridge is full, guys. Your fridge is full for the entire month. I have a family of, we are a family of 6, so.
Buy them in bulk, and so we haven't been going as frequently as we used to in the past. But still, compared to the average American, that I know people that sometimes only go grocery shopping once a month or once every 3 to 4 weeks, and for me it's looking like a strong twice a week, maybe once a week. That's really pushing it for me, once a week to go to the grocery store. And when I tell people that I go grocery shopping sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, they're like, oh my gosh, I could never. But for me, I love going grocery shopping. I love cooking. I love making fresh meals. And so I think that's why I like it so much. But unfortunately, due to the prices, we still bulk buy a little bit more frequently now than we used to, but we're still going, I would say, more than the average American, less than the average German. And I just find this to be interesting because sometimes I don't even know what I want to eat till the day of. For me, I don't know how Americans can buy a month in advance for what they want to eat because my attitude and my preferences change daily. I'll be like, oh, today I want chicken. Today I want steak. Today I just want vegetables. Today I just want a salad. And a lot of times I don't want those things sitting a month in the refrigerator.
Good point.
And
Hey,
also,
it's true. It all depends here, right? I already have a schedule. I need to have eggs and steak. out of the bat, right? And chicken, right? Because I go to the gym, right? So I need to have a high protein. The salad's important. That way I can just, if I'm hungry during the night, I can eat that salad, right? And right now I'm trying to just lose some fat. And for my kids, a lot of carbohydrates help them a lot. And my wife, since she already gave birth to our last kid, a lot of that chicken and lean food was gonna help her. It's gonna help her just lose some of that fat as well. So you kind of have an idea, but if you're like her, it's better just to keep it like twice a week kind of thing.
So if things can sit a month in the refrigerator without going bad, especially vegetables, I don't know if they're good for you. That's what I always tell people. If something is sitting in your refrigerator that's supposed to be fresh and it lasts like 1 or 2 months, I don't want to eat it. Don't give it to me. And so, I don't know. Those are, I feel like, relatively easy.
Yeah, I mean, some of these, I mean, the first couple behaviors, man, those are great habits. Those are great habits. And I think, like, again, like I said, those habits, the way I see it, is just to build organized and concise structures that can help you with your character. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. I'll see you in the next one.